Why do you think coffee is as popular as it is, and why is it so universal?
Because it's an addiction.
He is a character.
He's very unique.
We love brewing coffee for him. He makes us having like the perfect coffee.
He loves what he does. He's really passionate about coffee.
He's a very talented, very knowledgeable, very hardworking individual.
He has sensory skills that no one else has.
He's an integral part of Happy Goat.
I had a field research in Sudan in social anthropology, and I had my own compound, a very remote area, no electricity, no running water, no nothing, yeah. And for somehow I was the coffee shop at that time, not because I liked to do it, but because I was the only one who had access to coffee and tea. Then I said, oh, one day I want to travel to Ethiopia because it was not far. And 13 years later, I actually traveled to Ethiopia. And on my second trip, I got stuck with young coffee farmers. And they said, oh, this has a lot to do with social anthropology. And then I said, oh, but then I have to learn about coffee. So I decided to make cup tasting trainings in Addis Ababa. And I learned a lot there. So it was very intense training. Only a few Europeans or Westerners. No. There was barely someone doing this. Yeah.
Hans was referred to me by a friend, a roaster. I got a call about 9 years ago now saying, hey, I just got introduced to this German gentleman. He seems to know a lot about coffee. He had his own business. Struck me as a very, very honest and knowledgeable individual. So we started doing work on a contract basis at the beginning.
If I would have a scientific approach, I would never create good coffees because science is not to create products, right? One of the many fairy tales in coffee and coffee roasting has nothing to do with art. People like to see it, but it has to do with physics, with chemistry and biology. So first, you have to know your beans. Yeah? You have to know about moisture content, water activity, density, growing conditions, and so on and so on. You have to know about defects, what influence or what impact has this on the roasting. This is the biological aspect. That's complex. Coffee is very complex. You have to know over the years all this and having it in your mind.
That's not science.
That's not science. That's what I say, yeah. For me, sustainability is a little bigger. It includes also the people themselves, yes, and the economics. You cannot be sustainable if you get 90 cents per pound. It's impossible. Yeah? So we have to start with the coffee prices. If the prices are okay, then the farmer is much more willing to invest more. That's, I think, the way you have to approach trade. I was telling this friend about these new materials you can make with mycelium and so on. And he said, oh, I know a professor at UAD Ottawa. On Monday, he sent me the contact. I sent an email. Next morning, I got a call from this professor and I was in a car. We want to make a coffee store where we just sell products made from coffee byproducts. And the objective is that we use for all the interior only these kind of materials that are made from agricultural waste. Mycelium is that what's invisible in the soil. Bring together these waste products, and the mycelium consumes all the sugars, produce enzymes, they transform compounds, like for example plastics. They They dissolve the hydrocarbons of the plastics and reassemble it to carbohydrates, what's then their sugar source. You can create everything. I just met a guy in Taiwan. They can make wood-like stuff. You can create all kind of materials in it with all kind of properties depending from your plant. We source our coffee, so I'm traveling around and cupping these coffees and talking to farmers, producers, and so on, exporters.
We tend to deal with smaller farmers with high quality specialty coffee that they produce.
We're trying to help our farmers in the origins and then trying to help them to improve their businesses and then of course supply us a better and better product.
So it's sustainable for them and for us to actually do the deal, you know? We believe in Ottawa that we're probably the only ones that do it at that level.
Look, it's the social aspect. In the evening, when I meet a friend, like saying, "Oh, let's go for a beer." Means translated, let's sit down and chat a little bit, right? The same as with coffee. Oh, let's go for a coffee. It's a social thing, coffee.
Working at Happy Goat, it's like a family.
Everybody involved is actually contributes in some way to how good Happy Goat is, whether it's the barista on the front line or Hans, who I believe is probably one of a kind in our industry. We all contribute with our own skill set and our passion for the company.
Happy Goat is like my community. We have such a good relationship with the baristas at this point that talking to them makes your day better.
The food is really good. Best coffee in Ottawa
For sure. It's like the happiest way to start your day.